Coming to you live from New York City, it's Jim Caruso's Pajama Cast Party. And now, here's your host, Jim Caruso.
Well, howdy do. How the heck are you? I am so hyped about tonight's show. We have 3 spectacular guests. Hope you guys are all settled in. Have a little beverage. Have your feet up. Do you have any comments? Be sure to put them in the column right there. We want to hear from you. The show tonight. This is our 87th Pajama Cast Party in a row. What? We have great guests: Randy Austin, Jackson Perry, and Stephanie J. Block. I mean, doesn't get better. I think I should call out my friend, my producer, Ruby Lochner. Oh, Ruby.
Oh, Jim. First and foremost, I have to say, did you just say we're on our 87th episode of Pajama Cast Party?
I did.
Because that's not correct. We've been doing it for a long time.
Is it 77?
No, this is 68.
How did I get so wrong?
65. I don't know because last week you were right on the money. So
I just guessed. So,
right.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it feels like 87 in the best way possible.
That's true, but it's 68.
I believe it's 68. You have me questioning.
Whatever. Okay, well, I'll have my research department work on that.
That's me. I am your research department, and it is episode 6. It is episode 68.
Oh, something just bounced back.
That was me. That was your researcher accidentally. It's episode.
Oh,
68.
Okay. So much to talk about. Everything's good. Everything's boiling and just stinky and sweaty here in New York City. So enjoy that. We're selling the merch, the Pajama Cast Party merch, like crazy, and I love it when our friends and the viewers send us pictures of themselves wearing the merch, using the merch. Look at this. My friend Judith Makita sent me this. It's the beach bag. Oh my God. I love that.
Doesn't that make you want to go to pajamacastparty.com and do all of your shopping right now?
It really makes me want to go to a beach more than
True,
anything.
But with my Pajama Cast Party tote.
Yes. Some really good news happened today. You know, I think we're all a little desperate for happy news. Our good friend, Julie Halston, is receiving the Isabel Stevenson Tony Award for her work fighting the lung disease pulmonary fibrosis. Her dedication and advocacy and fundraising and awareness creating has just been extraordinary. And we're thrilled for her. Ruby and I both kind of created a show with her called Virtual Halston this past year, and it was a big smash. It was like this. It was there it is. A virtual show just like this. So, I mean, Ruby, did you scream out loud when you read that?
Okay, truly, like I'm not even kidding you. I was scrolling through Facebook because, like everybody, I grab my phone first thing in the morning, and I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw the article, and in bed I sat up and went, "Oh my God!" Nobody is more deserving. Nobody is nicer, kinder, funnier, and nobody has, I mean, she has done so much for the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. Yeah. She got
thousands and thousands and thousands and hundreds and thousands, just crap loads of money.
I mean, crap loads of money. She's on the board now through knowing Julie and working with Julie. She got me involved with the PF Foundation. I've produced multiple shows for them. They are some of the most wonderful people. And I believe that because of people like Julie, there's going to be a cure much sooner rather than later. And we are just so happy for her. This was like the best news ever.
I know, it's really happy. And God, her late husband, the great Ralph Howard, who died from this terrible disease, must be watching and grinning and so happy that Ms. Halston is finally getting her Tony Award.
And didn't Julie say that today would have been her mom's birthday? So it happened
Yes.
on a very, celebratory day already. And I just think that that's amazing.
So good. So good. So we're thrilled for her. Now, some of you might be keeping track on July 3rd, the day before the 4th of July, as you probably figured out,
Right.
I purchased some red, white, and blue balloons for a thing I did for New York One. They interviewed me, and I thought it would be fun to have red, white, and blue balloons behind me. So I bought them July 3rd. And what is happening?
They're still floating.
They are still floating.
Now, isn't that almost a metaphor for the season of life that we're going through? We're all just
Is that-
still floating.
I don't know that.
I mean,
Is it the circle of life? I don't know, but I'm sick to death of these things. However, I'm not going to pop them.
I told
that
Jim,
seems like bad luck.
I said, Jim, at this point, you cannot pop them because if you do, everything will go wrong. I'm convinced. But also, Jim, wherever you got those balloons from needs like an award because they should not last that long. It's disturbing.
Maybe they should get the Isabel Stevenson Award too.
That might be a stretch, but they deserve some sort of, recognition.
A Mac Award, something.
Maybe a
Anyway,
Mac
yeah.
Award.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's just weird. You know who's watching tonight? In his artist den.
Oh, yes. The one and
our
only.
friend Justin Squiggs Robertson. Now, happily, most every week, he watches and draws. He does quick sketches of everybody on the show. So we secretly installed a camera over his shoulder so that we can watch him. And then at the end, he sends us the artwork and we show it and there's a big reveal and everybody goes home happy. But Ruby, can you turn on the secret camera over his shoulder?
I still don't feel good about the fact that we haven't told him there's a camera in his apartment.
I know,
But for
he's
now,
drawing right now.
Let's
He's
see
drawing
what's
the show right now.
Let's see what's happening.
Let's see what's happening. Oh, there we are.
Oh, wait.
That's him.
Squigs is in this week's drawing.
Okay, this is good.
This is amazing. Oh, wait. Squigs, Jim,
Yes.
why does he know about the secret camera?
Oh. Well, now I'm confused. Yeah. Well, I guess he figured it out.
Oh, man.
Squig's desk. Oh my God, this is so cute. And it's in purple and yellow, and I'm wearing purple.
Purple. Well, Squigs.
Squigs, thank you. Thank you. You can go to Squigs. What is it? Squigs something.
SquigsOnline.com. Hang on. It's coming. It's coming. Hold on. Jim's favorite thing. It's pointing. Yep. Okay. Squigs, we thank you. We love you. I guess we need to talk about how and why you found the hidden camera. I'm so sorry. But thanks for keeping it up for this week. Yeah.
So at the end of the show, big reveal. This is the time when we ask you to subscribe to the Pajama Cast Party. If you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to the Cast Party Network.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean? Do they get a prize or?
Oh, it's very fun. No, subscribe and click the notification bell so you receive notifications every time we go live, upload a new clip. After every single week of Pajama Cast Party, we break up all of the performances and interviews into individual segments. So if you ever want to go back and watch that, it's on the YouTube channel. Any other live events or pre-recorded media goes there as well. And if you're watching on Facebook, Jim, it's your favorite, you can
share.
You can share.
You can
And
click share.
you can click share. And that's a great way to also spread the word because we want everybody to know about Pajama Cast Party. And since there isn't a subscribe button, this is kind of the next best thing. We're also
right.
everywhere on social media. So if you want to follow us there, you can basically just search our names, and we are on every single social media site, even when you don't want us to be. So
Yeah, we'll come to your house, really.
we will literally come to your house.
But, you know, the good thing about this, doing this for 97 weeks or however the hell long we've been doing it, is every week we ask for donations. But here's the good thing. We have been able to, because of that, then donate to Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, the Actors Fund, so many great organizations. And this week we are donating to a spectacular organization called the Covenant House in honor of our great friend Stephanie J. Block, who's joining us tonight. It's a great organization that provides shelter, food, and crisis care to homeless and runaway kids. So send us your shekels. Give a $5, $10, $1 million.
$1 million. And like we say every single week, if you send us $1 million, we'll throw in the shower curtain.
Ooh! You can go to pajamacastparty.com. Get your own damn shower curtain if you want one.
Get your own damn shower curtain. Or send us $1 million and we'll send you one.
Yeah.
We'll come to your house.
Wait,
We'll
there's one more thing, and then we're going to start. Cast Party is back every Monday at Birdland. It's been so much fun. We've been sold out. The talent's been crazy. But, isn't he attractive? That's a sincere smile. It's a little forced.
Happy jolly smile.
Yeah, but coming up will be a very exciting, very weird, very special cast party at Birdland. I can't give away all the details because I don't really understand them yet, but suffice to say it will be technically fascinating. So watch this space. We'll be telling you all about it. Is there a way to kind of tease that anymore? I don't know.
Well, I think because you're saying technically it's going to be interesting, people probably think it has something to do with me. It has nothing to do with me,
No.
but it's very, let me think. It's something that's very on trend right now for video.
Modern. It's modern.
It's modern, and it's very on trend right now in terms of video filming and editing. But even if you're not there on that week, you should come to Cast Party. I've been coming the last few weeks, and Jim, I have to say, I've met so many people these last few weeks, and you know, Birdland's always been like a second home to me. So I feel like I pretty much know everyone on a given Monday night. But I've had so many new people come up to me and say, I watch you guys every single week on Pajama Cast Party. Thank you for continuing it, even now that the world is opening back up. And it's amazing. We have the best viewers in the world.
We do. And that's you.
This is Jim's favorite thing to do.
I know, because that looks nice on camera.
Yes, it does. He likes that and then this. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this. Are you ready, Ruby?
I'm ready. I'm going to go away.
Okay. Do you have your clapper? Okay. Oh, that made my hair move. And that's something. Our very first guest is from Crum, Texas. That's Crum with a K. But he calls Dallas home now, where I lived for 18 years. Dallas is great. I know him as a great group singer, but he's making lots of waves as a solo artist and a writer. I couldn't be happier that he's here. Please welcome Randy Austin.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How are ya?
How are you, Randy Austin?
I am doing so awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I am so glad to be here today with you.
I'm thrilled. You know I'm a big fan. First of all, before we even get into the music, were your parents hoping for a country star when you were born? Because Randy Austin is like the ultimate name for a country singer.
It is. I love the name. My family I grew up in the church, so I think they were hoping for more of a gospel star. But I went off to country music, and my actual name is Randall. That was a little too proper for country music, so we just shortened it down to Randy. That's what we do in the country.
It's so odd. If I were in country, well, how do I shorten Jim? J.
Hey, no, you got the perfect country name too, Jim. I mean,
really?
That's it. Oh yeah.
But
Jim's
I could be Jim Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but think about like Jim Beam.
Oh, that's it. When people look at me, they think Jim Beam. They might need to have a drink when they think of me. When we met, you were part of a great pop country really quartet called Fourth and Main. Some of my favorite musical moments happened when I was part of a vocal trio called Wise Guys. Tell our audience why it's so fulfilling to sing in a vocal group like that. I think we lost Randy.
Jim, I'm coming back. Hang on. And we're going to get Randy back. Hold on.
Randy, are you back?
Is he back?
I thought he was thinking really hard on the answer, and then I realized I was alone in that conversation.
You were alone. Hang on, Jim. I'm going to try and get Randy back. Do you want to jump to Jackson?
For sure. Do you think it'll take a minute?
No, wait. Let's try it again. Hang on.
Let's try it one more time. And then, are you there?
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
What if we did
Don't
all
you
that
love
again?
technology? There's something crazy about technology. Like, this would never happen on a live stage, right?
Ever.
Ever. We would just
Ever.
no. That
I
would
know.
never
I
happen.
know. I actually thought you were thinking really hard on the answer, and I thought, well, it's not that hard. Okay, so what I asked you was, being in a vocal group. Tell our audience why I think it's so fulfilling to sing tight, close harmonies with other people.
I agree.
You loved it, didn't you?
As a soloist, it's you're kind of the feature all the time. There's two parts to it. As a singer, I love harmony, and harmonies, for those that don't know what harmony is, those are parts around that lead that bring together this beautiful music, right? And getting to do that with a group of people that you sing very closely makes those. It's almost like it creates an instrument-like sound, and that challenge is amazing. But what I also love is that when you're tired, you may not have the next line, so you don't have to sing all the time. So that's, there's a couple of reasons to sing in a group, but I definitely love harmony. Harmony is what drove me to the idea and being part of that group.
Me too. And I was an only child, so to me it was like having, all of a sudden I had brothers, because you're so intent on coming up with a tight blend, a perfect blend, and just like you would be in a family, trying to blend that into a one beautiful thing. I just think it's the coolest thing to do.
It is.
All of you people, start a vocal group.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you'll either love each other or fight, or or do a little of both.
Yeah.
It's always a
there is
challenge.
definitely fighting.
Yeah, you never know what everybody's voice is doing that day, and who's hearing the pitch, and who's slightly off of the pitch, and getting it perfect, and all about it. It's always a challenge, but it's so much fun. It's a challenging fun.
It is. Well, you guys, Fourth and Main, were part of a great cast party we did in Nashville. Oh my God, that was a great
Which
night.
was the first time I got to meet you face to face. It was so awesome. I absolutely loved that show. It was amazing.
That was a great night. God, we had Larry Gatlin and Cooper Allen and Victoria Shaw and Emily West and Ty Herndon and Linda Davis and you guys.
Yes. Oh my gosh, how much fun was that? I mean, that was like a super show. That was incredible.
It was really great. So you were living in Nashville. You left Nashville. Now you're living in Dallas. What's up?
Back to Dallas. When the pandemic hit, it was a big challenge for us as a group, a new group. Anytime you're trying to get up and going and started and, any of that thing, it is tough. And you put a pandemic on top of it where you can't travel, you can't, you can't tour, you can't sing, you can't make money singing. It was just like, what do we do? And so we just got together and everybody just kind of decided, it's probably, we don't know how long this is going to go on. We don't know where we're going to be in the next coming months. It's probably best just to call it quits for a while.
Yeah.
And so who knows? Maybe we'll get back together one day.
Absolutely. And this gives you time to do solo things. What's the music scene like in Dallas now? I know what it was like when I was there, but that's been 400 years.
Man, I'm telling you, in the last couple of years, I'll just say 10 to 15 years, the Texas country scene has just blown up. And you've got country music, And then you have this new development of music called Texas country music. And it's a little bit different style, a little bit different sound. If you think like Willie Nelson, that's a little more Texas country versus something like Ty Herndon, right? He was in country music. So that is really the biggest scene in Texas. Austin, Texas has blown up huge. South by Southwest and a number of different festivals that they put on. It is a huge, huge thing in Texas.
Austin, Texas, which was named after you.
Exactly.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, last month you released your new single called Alive, which is so look at that.
Oh,
which
thank you
is
so much.
So gorgeous. It's a song written by Sia and Adele.
Yes.
Tell me about the song, how you chose that particular song.
I chose a song because of exactly where I'm at right now with my life. We go through those moments and times, you know, COVID, especially a lot of musicians, it was just like a darkness, kind of like a cloud sort of hovering over us, like what to expect. And I heard the song about 3 or 4 years ago. I flew out to California, saw Sia live in San Francisco, and it was just incredible. It was the most amazing concert, but she came out with this song. And I thought, man, if ever there was an anthem that was me, this song was it, because it's talking about literally feeling alive and coming out of that thunderstorm, being born in a thunderstorm, meaning that we're born to face adverse actions and face things that are in front of us. So with COVID and the changes in my music direction, it just was like, this is the time. The other thing that was really cool about that song is it's the first song that I've ever produced and actually played music instruments on. I did it all by myself with the help of a friend named Kelly Vaughn, who played guitar for me, but we did it all together. And then an incredible mix job by Joe Carroll, who is just a phenomenal engineer.
Well, it's a great song. It's a great recording about survival and this too shall pass kind of a lyric. I just loved it. I want you to sing for us.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
No, you're not going to sing that song.
I'm not. I'm going to sing a song that I wrote a couple of years ago with Wayne Hahn, the Wayne Hahn. I always call him the Wayne Hahn. And one of my best friends, Joel Lindsay, and Chase McDaniel, that I sang with in 4th and Main. And it's a song about that I was inspired to write, brought it to the table to the guys to write about my mom. I know she's watching tonight, right now. And
what's her name?
Her name is Margaret. And
Hi,
she
Margaret.
has never heard this song, this arrangement, this version of this song. So I'm going to dedicate this song tonight to my mom because she was the inspiration behind this song. And it's called Born For. And this is, all of the lyrics of this song are written from a very true story. So I hope everybody can connect with that.
Great.
Thank
Sing
you
it
so
for us.
much, Jim. I was raised by a mama who was stronger than an oak tree. In a little bitty town nobody's ever seen. Some folks laughed at the things my head was chasing, but she said no one else can tell you who to be. You were born for shining light.
Well,
You were born to fly, that's who you are. You can stop believing, it's easy to stop dreaming when somebody slams a door. But that's not what you were born for. And you can cry just a little anytime your heart is broken. There's a little bit of light even in the darkest night.
from a dreamer who has found a lot to hope in. Don't ever say you can't, 'cause you just might. You were born for shining like the stars. You were born to love with all your heart. You were born to fly, that's who you are. And you can stop believing. It's easy to stop dreaming when somebody slams the door. But that's not what you were born for. What you think might be your final stand could be your finest hour. And you can wreck some greater plan. No, you don't have that power. You were born for shining like the stars. You were born to love with all your heart. You were born to fly, that's who you are. And you can stop believing. It's easy to stop dreaming when somebody slams a door. But that's not what you were born for. No, that's not what you were born for.
I mean, first of all, your voice is insanely beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank
That's
you
a
so much.
gorgeous song.
I
don't
really
know if,
appreciate it.
I don't know if Wayne's watching, but I know Joel is watching.
Joel Lindsay, I love you, my friend.
I mean,
I love him. I love Joel and I love Wayne so much. They are two guys, and I'm so glad he's on. They are two guys that have just poured into me and into my life, and I could never thank them enough. I could never thank them enough.
they're so supportive
They
and
are
so
awesome.
talented. My friend, you are just the best for joining us all the way from Texas.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I would love to come back sometime soon.
Please come on to New York. And
I
hang
will.
out.
We have a trip planned. In fact, I'm coming with Wayne and a big group, and I will be there, and I'll be looking for you.
You better be at Cast Party. That would be great.
I will be. You can be assured of it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Love you, my friend. Thank you so much for having me again. Appreciate
Thanks. Thanks for the gorgeous performance. Did you like that one glitch when the sound stopped and then Ruby and I were both there really fast and then we had to go away? That was awkward. That's the thing of these virtual shows is we're all at the mercy and we're learning to just be okay with it. Of Wi-Fi, the weather, you never know what's going to mess something up. Don't forget, in honor of SJB, we are collecting for Covenant House tonight. So anything you might be able to send in, we'd sure appreciate it. Obviously, we have to pay for the platform, but then we send big wads of money to some of our favorite organizations. So don't forget, you can Venmo, you can PayPal, you can write checks, you can slip money under my door, really, whatever it takes. Okay, are you ready for more? I also saw my friend Liz Paley's watching. So hi, Liz. Hi, Liz. Our next guest is a recent graduate of the University of North Carolina School of the Arts High School drama program. That is a long title. And will be attending the University of Michigan in the musical theater department. I mean, it's a lot. He's won a very prestigious award, which I'll have him tell you about. Here's Jackson Perry.
Hi. Oh my gosh. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. Randy was phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
I know, that gorgeous voice, right?
Yeah.
I know. And you too, mister. Now, we've never met, but I've watched you on Instagram and I've watched you on Facebook, all kinds of things. But here's what I know about you. I don't know much, but I know this. I see that your whole life is theater. Am I right?
No, I don't like to say that.
But everything I see, you're just involved in every bit of it. You're an actor, a singer, a dancer. It sure looks that way. Anyway, take me through a day of being Jackson.
Yeah. So right now I'm home. I'm currently in my garage, but I have an internship at my local arts council. So I do that in the mornings. They don't pay me, but it's fine because it's for the craft. And then I take a little break, and then I dance in the evenings, and then I sleep and do it again. And right now I'm chilling, having a great summer, seeing people that I love before I go off to school, that kind of thing.
Good. Well, now the University of North Carolina School of the Arts high school program is very respected, and University of Michigan is very fancy in the musical theater department. When do you start college?
Yeah, my first day of classes is August 30th.
So it's any minute.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Are you so excited?
I'm so excited. I'm scared, but I'm so excited. It's going to be phenomenal.
What are you looking forward to?
Well, the people. I'm so inspired by like all of the people who are already there and the people in my class. Like we're just gonna grow together and it's gonna be amazing. Oh my gosh.
I know. Have you been away from home much?
No. Well, because I did the University of North Carolina School of the Arts program, I lived off campus there. So not off campus, on campus there. So I was away from home last year. But other than that, not really. I don't travel too much.
Yeah. I'm so jealous of you. You're about to have so many incredible experiences. It's just the beginning. Everything's gonna happen for you. I'm thrilled for you. What are your musical influences in musical theater? I know you've sung a lot of JRB.
Oh, I sure have. He's so good. I will say, because last week's episode, Adam Guettel was on here, and he is my favorite composer. Oh my gosh.
I won't tell Jason.
I love Jason. Don't get me wrong, but I listen to Myth and Hymns over and over and over and over. But composer-wise, definitely him. Of course, I look up to a lot of like the Black musical theater trailblazers, Audra McDonald, Cynthia Erivo, to name a few. Heather Headley. Oh my gosh, so many. But
I'm with you. Yeah. You just performed the role of Cornelius in Hello, Dolly at Southeastern Summer Theater Institute. Look at that. Look at you. You're full on showbiz there. Did you enjoy that experience?
Oh, absolutely. It was actually the favorite show that I ever did. So I was
really
thankful. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, because singing Jerry Herman must be a very different experience from singing Pasek and Paul or Jason Robert Brown. But I love that you have a love for, a wide swath of musical theater writers.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The best. There's a picture of you. Another picture of you as Cornelius. Ruby pulled up. Look at that. Come on. That has got to hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so tell me about the Broadway World Next on Stage competition.
Yeah, it was a competition of a series of rounds of online submissions. I entered on a whim. I was like, maybe I should just do this. So I filmed the self-tape and then submitted it. And then I asked some people that I knew to vote for me. And then I did that a few times and I kept moving on through the rounds. And then eventually like social media really came out for me. And the people who watched the show really, really supported me. And I got enough votes and I won the high school division. But yeah.
So happy. Have you gotten a lot of good advice from people in the biz that saw that?
Yes. Oh, yes. People have just been reaching out to me like left and right, like telling me good things that I can improve on. People have reached out to coach me, that kind of stuff. And it's been great. I've just been living the best life as a theater kid.
Oh, that makes me happy. Well, maybe Ms. Block, who is following you, will have some thoughts for you, because I know she loves a good theater kid. Because we all were one. Okay, sing for us, Jackson.
Yeah, I'll be singing Endless Night from The Lion King.
Perfect.
Where has the starlight gone? Dark is the day. How can I find my way home? Home is an empty dream, lost to the night. Father, I feel so alone. You promised you'd be there whenever I needed you. Whenever I called your name, you're not anywhere. I'm trying to hold on, just waiting to hear your voice. One word, just a word will do to end this nightmare. When will the dawning break? Oh, endless night, sleepless I dream of the day when you were by my side, guiding my path. Father, I can't find the way. You promised you'd be there whenever I needed you. Whenever I called your name, you're not anywhere. I'm trying to hold on, just waiting to hear your voice. One word, just a word will do to end this nightmare. I know that the night must end, and that the sun will rise, and that the sun will rise. I know that the clouds must clear, and the sun will shine. I know, yes, I know the sun will rise. Yes, I know the clouds must clear. I know that the night must end. I know that the sun will rise. And I hear your voice deep inside. I know that the night must end, and that the clouds must clear. Oh, the sun will rise. The sun will rise.
Jackson, Jackson went away.
I'm here.
You kill me. What a spectacular voice. The joy that you bring to that performance is just Fantastic. Just thrilling. Thank you, my friend.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
I can't wait to watch what you're about to do with your life. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, my new friend. Take care. Ah, that makes me so happy. Actually, I have an edit. Before, when I said that Joel Lindsay was watching, I was lying. It's not Joel Lindsay. It's our friend Joel Crump, who we played a few weeks ago when he joined us on Pajama Cast Party. He was part of the Kristen Chenoweth Broadway Boot Camp. How old are you, Joel? Are you 9? You're 11, something. You're really young. And then we finally met this past week when he came to Real Cast Party at Birdland. 13, he's 13. And he stopped the show. He killed it. He was absolutely fabulous. We love Joel Crump. So thank you for watching, Joel. Okay. Do I have to say anything else before we start? Don't forget, you can Venmo, you can PayPal, all for Covenant House tonight. It's almost impossible for me to tell you how much our next guest means to me. We met in 2002 when we were cast in a show. The show was not a hit, but our friendship sure was, and remains so to this very second. Please welcome one of my favorite human beings ever, Stephanie J. Block. Are you in Lion King? What's
happening? You know I love a good theme. And I don't really have pajamas per se. I'm more of a sweatshirt, t-shirt, sweatpants kind of girl. But Vivi sleeps in these.
I love that she has a sleep mask.
How magical is that? Anyway,
well, Vivi
like I
is
said, less breakfast
magical.
at Tiffany's and more like, breakfast at Dunkin' Donuts or something. Hi, Jim Caruso.
Which is where we would want to go. Hi, SJB.
How are you? So those two vocalists were insanely good, one of whom had backup singers.
I know.
I came a bit underprepared, I think.
You don't have backup singers?
No. I think I may even probably wake the little kid up. She's right above me, so we'll see.
Oh, because you can belt.
The voice gets, like Dolly would say, my lungs are on the outside, your lungs are on the inside.
Did she say?
Yeah, that was quote
that to
unquote.
you?
That was a big compliment from Ms. Dolly Parton.
I mean,
come on, pretty great, right?
I mean, that you have a line like that you could say, Dolly said to me.
She did.
Your life is so cuckoo. Your career, the people that you have, the cast of characters, first of all, that you've portrayed, and then that you've gotten to work with is just insane. Okay, wait, let's start.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm getting hot.
I'm sorry, one of the original Blockheads. Now, I know many people will fight me for that. But can you believe we've known each other almost 20 years?
No, that is a crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But, a lot of life has happened. And you've been there for all of it. That's for darn sure.
And
You've counseled me on parts, on playing Liza. You've counseled me on, whether I should marry Sebastian or not. You were a little leery. Do you remember? You're like, this seems awfully fast.
It's not that I was leery about him. Let's not start that rumor.
Right. No, I won't start that rumor.
No, because, I mean, you met him and it was pretty immediate.
It was, once I got off the tour, of Wicked, then it was pretty immediate. So that was wild. But it's working out. It's almost 14 years. My dog's middle name is after you, who, by the way, Macaco Jim's birthday is today. He too is turning 14. What? So, Julie, go ahead, win that Tony. You win that Tony, girl. But today is Macaco Jim's birthday.
Why is Macaco's middle name Jim? I kind of
because
forget.
It's hilarious. You have this sort of, cultural name that comes from my husband's Uruguayan lineage, because macaco in slang is like fire hydrant, right? In Uruguay. And then there's Jim. And I just think that's hilarious.
It is hilarious. So fire hydrant Jim is pretty too. We met. Okay, do you remember the second we met? I absolutely remember. We were doing a show called The Grave White Way.
The Grave White Way in Los Angeles. Was the theater like on Lancashire or something?
That's where we rehearsed. Yes.
Yep. It was only a 5-person situation. We were all dead characters, and singing like parodies of musical theater tunes.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of funny in it, but didn't knock it out of the park. I've been in a couple of those myself.
I remember.
It wasn't quite a home run.
I do remember the song. There was a song called "Going to the Cockfights," and they say it always hurts the first time. And my favorite, "My heart is in my chest."
Okay, please tell me you had to look that up. That's not like in the recess.
Well, I would not have remembered that. No.
Okay, great. Because I was about to go get tested, because I remembered none of that until you said it. And then I remembered.
Oh, but there was also a song. It was a show. It was a musical within the musical about the Donner Party and the song was called "Eat Me." Don't you use that as an audition tune?
And I think now more than ever, probably not appropriate or acceptable or palatable, I guess I should say. But Stephen Schwartz came to that reading. That I remember. He was in the audience for that. Yeah.
Because you had already been working with him, correct?
Yeah, for almost two years on Wicked at that point. Yeah. Things happened.
I'll say, but when we did that thing, it reminded me, because a bunch of us, you specifically, and I became so close so fast. It was like community theater when you're 19 years old and you just can't get enough of each other, and you hang out every minute, and you do everything.
Such a pretty smile. Look, or like war buddies going off to Vietnam. One of the two.
That we were recreating a bad prom, I think.
Yeah, but that top, why did I not keep that top? Those are bugle beads, people. That's not like some cheap ass lame. Those are bugle beads, individual. And you know what? Looking at that now, if you couldn't foresee that Cher was somewhere in my future, then we're not attuned to what's happening, because that's a full-on Cher blouse right there.
Oh, yeah, Cher would enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember during that time I said, you have to move to New York. You have to. Because you were living in LA, and you were like, oh, I'll move to New York. I'll never work again. I work all the time in LA, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
I wasn't that dramatic, honest to God.
Have you met you?
Yeah. I did.
So you moved here. You moved a block from me.
I did, which was the most fun and the most sort of Sex in the City or Will and Gracie we could ever be. Because we would call each other at 11 p.m. and be like, are you hungry? Or I would get those new like eyebrow stencils, try them out and be like, come over and look at my eyebrows. Tell me what you think.
You tried to do Audrey Hepburn eyebrows.
I did. Ooh, full circle. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Again, did not work out with the eyebrows either. That was pretty bad.
It wasn't your best look. I mean, you still looked cute. But I remember
I can always count on you to be honest. You will always lovingly be honest with me.
I think I said something about Groucho Marx.
You did. That's correct.
Loving. But I remember the first week you got here, you got a tour, a print ad, and a commercial in like 2 days. And I was like, well, that's not working out.
A voiceover ad.
A voiceover.
Yeah, it was a good week.
Good week.
Haven't worked that much since.
Come on. Don't.
Oh, come on. Why? Isn't self-deprecation in? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing?
You did Wicked, and then you did Boy from Oz, and during Boy from Oz, I love that I just fluffed over Wicked like it was nothing. Boy from Oz, you called me and you said, I'm playing Liza Minnelli.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we had Liza lessons.
Oh, big time. Big time. You told me so many things that I used to inform my, my story and my characterization that probably an audience would never pick up, but everything from always pointing your toe if you're crossing, no matter what you're doing, kick off your shoes and immediately point that toe.
Bam.
And that when she smokes, she would always rub her ring finger, right?
Yes.
That was a thing. Getting her voice was really hard for me. It's still hard for me. I go back and go, "You're terrific, baby." And I'm not quite there. It never really lived in me per se, but those memories are amazing. I mean, I don't know why I keep saying yes to playing living, breathing icon people. Don't do it. Jackson, if they ask you, do not do that.
Don't you love Jackson?
Oh yeah, he's spectacular. And when he says, "No, I don't live and breathe theater," I believe that. But did you see that split leap picture? That doesn't just come overnight.
No, it does not. It does not. When we were doing our Liza lessons,
Yes.
This happened.
I know. And why do I feel like, look at her, and then look at Kay in the back.
I know Kay's watching over the whole thing.
But was I correct in saying that it was either Scott Nevins or Randy Rainbow who was with us that night? Who was with us that night?
It was, one of them might have been, but I know it was Judith Light and Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Yes. Okay.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know, but all I know is who I was standing in the room with, and I don't believe it was Jesse.
Oh,
but
okay.
Her energy, her meaning Liza, her energy towards me was very cordial and kind, but boy, did she warm up to, and it was either Scott or Randy. We need to check. Oh. There was so much hugging and baby and all that, and me, she was wonderful. I mean, wonderful. Yeah. But there was just a different energy. I think at that point, though, let's be honest, I had met her maybe 2 or 3 times before. You had introduced me one time before. I was your date at her 60th birthday party, right? Yeah. Where that invitation said, "We're throwing Liza a surprise birthday," and she loves the idea. Do you remember that invitation? I'll never forget that invitation.
That is so her sense of humor. Yeah. That was fun. But you were also playing her.
Oh, no, of course. She always looked at me as
that must be an awkward thing. I can't imagine.
Creature, right? Because I probably stand a good 7-8 inches taller than her, right? Our proportions are totally different. I mean, I get it. I don't know how I would feel if I was meeting somebody who was playing me on stage or screen. It's a little bizarre. So,
and they were like 4 feet tall. You'd be like, really? Okay, we could spend a whole episode of this show on your incredible Broadway performances.
Just reminiscing.
Pirate Queen, 9 to 5, Anything Goes, Edwin Drood, falsettos. But the Cher show.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's put everything in perspective. Can you believe that the Cher show closed 2 years ago this August? Does that make you feel wildly like floating in space?
Yeah, because didn't you just win the Tony like 5 minutes ago?
Well, not really. I won the Tony and then broke Broadway. Like all of Broadway just broke.
That is a happy one.
That is a vintage Mackie that I'm wearing. That is one happy, happy woman who really worked her ass off. I mean, there's just no other way. I do
physically
this business like crazy. Yeah. And it took me 30 years from the moment that I was like, I'm doing this as a professional to that moment. And whoa.
No, you've been preparing for that very night your whole life. And I mean, you can say that about many people, but you specifically, I just know what that meant to you.
Oh my God, Jim. When you talk like this, I don't even know, like the fringe on my vest just starts like sticking out and all of my, I don't think she's ever said that in her life, and she might be mortified. Cher watches every week, right?
Oh, she's a huge fan of mine. Actually, she likes Ruby. She doesn't care for me.
Oh, I bet she does. Well, who's cooler than Ruby?
I know.
Oh God, my speaker just went off and went. "Brrr."
Oh,
So that's not good.
that's
Maybe
not
we
good.
don't sing.
So let's talk about the Tony. We're switching around a lot, but that's okay. I want to talk about that Tony.
Oh God, it just went off. My speakers just went off. Remember when we did a sound check an hour ago?
I do.
I never turned it off, so now it lost battery.
Do you think we'll be able to be okay?
If I go upstairs and wake up my husband and say, "Honey, the speaker went off. Can you help me?" We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Okay. So the Tony, tell me if the reality of that compares to the dream of your lifelong dream of getting a Tony.
It totally met. And the word that you used was reality. And that was my biggest blessing. I have two reasons why I think it was destined to happen the way it happened. My dream of winning a Tony started when I was 12. There were some opportunities where it could have happened. But I think in that moment, I was able to be in my own person. I felt my feet on the stage. I was able to look out into the audience and recognize people that I loved beyond just being a fan or being a peer. I could look at them and be like, I've seen their family grow up. I've worked along that side person for 20 years. There were deep relationships, right? So it didn't feel foreign. And I never, ever, ever expect anything. Like that's a mantra of mine, to always reach for the goal, but never expect anything, because this business is not fair per se. But to stand up there and to be able to hear my own breath and be in the moment and still look back 2 years later and know all the feelings. It didn't just happen and I walked away going, what the hell just happened? I remember it all. And I feel so lucky that I was at a stage in my life that allowed me to do that, to stay in my body for that
You
moment.
were a grown-up. You were a grown-up.
Grown up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's good.
Was anybody more excited than me when you decided to do that role?
Me and maybe my pastor, honest to God, Father Poppy.
Really?
Literally, when I was being asked to do it, it was right after Falsettos. And, you work with Bill Finn and James Lapine and you do this boutique sort of raw, artsy fartsy musical. And then you're presented with a sort of larger commercial situation. And you think, gosh, I don't know if I'm the girl to play that role. And I don't know if this is the time or stage in my life to take that on. And so I said no for a couple of times with some of these earlier incarnations and readings. And literally I spoke to my pastor and he's like, oh no, you have to play Cher. She's always been true to herself. She's always spoke up in the best way possible. She's just a guiding light and a beacon. And not that I know her in any way, but I say that, again, I really do say this with humility, not self-deprecation, but he's like, I see a light in you and a strength and vulnerability that she also has. I think it'd be really good for you. I thought, oh, all right. I guess hello, Jesus. Hello, God. And so I said yes. And I said yes to the reading in the workshop just to see where it might go. Now, at the end of that workshop, I had to present Cher to Cher sitting 5 feet away from me in a fluorescent lit room. So that was truly one of the most nerve-wracking moments in my entire career. But, it all worked out. Here we are.
Yes, it did. I just remember when you told me, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. And like, I almost started to hyperventilate. You have to do this just so I can be there opening night. I'll never speak of opening night.
Yeah.
The curtain call, I'm sure all the fans, all the blockheads, everybody that's watching us tonight saw the clip of opening night.
Oh my gosh.
Curtain call when you invited Cher onto the stage and you sang together.
That's correct.
Gay heads were exploding all over the theater.
My head was exploding because we did not know if she was going to. You can't make Cher do anything.
Right.
So that's a lesson I've learned. But, the producers were like, if you introduce her on stage, because we're introducing all the creatives and all the producers,
Right.
and we start playing Turn Back Time underneath with the orchestra, do you think you could get her to sing? I was like, and they like dropped this at my feet the night before or the day of opening, where your nerves are all aflutter
Right,
anyway.
'cause that's what you need to think about.
Because that's what you need to think about. And I thought, well, let me try. But I could tell as soon as she walked on stage and there was a smile on her face, I was like, oh, she's into it. She's
Yeah.
into it. But
Yeah.
did I think it would go that long? And did I think she would be, I think at one point I'm like, go on, Cher. Who says that? Honestly. Honestly.
The best.
But
That
it's
show
moment
gave you
in
so
time.
many crazy experiences. I know you guys were on the Tonight Show. Michaela
Yes.
Teal and Cher. Look
And
at
Jared
there you
Spector
are.
joined us as well. And her and the real Cher and Jared saying, I got you, babe. But I mean, look at those people. It was it really is a wild experience to say
bet.
I lived for 2
Right,
years.
right.
And now, I'm back at home.
Oh no,
with
I know. Oh,
these
we're getting into that.
sparkles.
We're getting into all that.
Oh, you are?
But
Are you
here's
sure?
what I-
It's 9
here's what I want to ask. There are very few Broadway performers who really, really know what it feels like to be an honest to God rock star. You, Adrienne Warren.
Yeah.
But is that a feeling that you can access like in your real life when you're feeling less than, or you're feeling beaten down or powerless? Can you kind of dig that power out of yourself and get through stuff?
I think
Did that help
now
you?
I can wake up that performer that I found. Now I can wake up that energy. Before I said yes to Cher, I felt secure in many realms of my life, but I never, felt attuned to being a pop and rock star. But there is something about walking on stage in a Bob Mackie kick-ass whatever, whether it's leather or bedazzled or hardly anything at all.
Oh,
And you're a woman of a certain age. Oh, hello. Hello, 4.5 pack. I never got to the 6 pack, but my God, I got close. I can access that now. I may just be fooling myself, but if I fool myself enough and I feel comfortable with that, then I think an audience will go along and
yeah.
believe in me.
Yeah.
Oh, hashtag believe.
Oh, get
Didn't
it
even
how you did that? Well,
There it is.
you kind of have the most beautiful family. What?
That was us on safari in Rwanda just 2.5 weeks ago, which is, my gosh, what an experience that was.
Tell
I
me,
don't know
how did that trip happen?
Okay, this trip was actually introduced to me. I was invited to go on this trip 7 years ago by a girlfriend of mine named Mary Lee Fairbanks, with whom I am now sharing a podcast. It's called Stages Podcast. We just launched thank you, Ruby. We just launched it today, our intro episode. So it's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's on stagespodcast.net. Anyway, Mary Lee is someone who I did Will Rogers Follies with in Branson, Missouri about 30 years ago. She left the industry, married an incredible man who is on, all these, I'm going to get it wrong, but he's like on, he works with governments on the economics sector, the infrastructure sector. So he works closely with President Paul Kagame of Rwanda. They've developed a great friendship and a great understanding and trust. So 7 years ago, I was invited to join them to bear witness to a lot of these wonderful women's schools that were opening up, and to see how the country, since the genocide in 1994, has grown, has flourished, is now based on forgiveness and integrity. And they really want not the genocide to be forgotten, but for a new chapter to be recognized. And so they wanted to invite some friends. Well, I got pregnant and I couldn't go. So this time around, we got invited again. And with COVID, we were a little leery as to the travel. But because we were traveling with some pretty fancy people and we were getting COVID tested every 3 days and all of us had to be vaccinated, we said yes. And I am so grateful we said yes, because the experience was like, truly nothing I can describe. And the people are extraordinary. And I just kept asking how and why. How do you move forward as a people with these atrocities that took place just 27 years ago? How do you live beside a neighbor that, sorry to go dark, but that literally murdered half your family 27 years ago? And they have found a way to not have this division, to walk forward as great examples of humanity and forgiveness and walking toward a future for their children and for the next generation. And I'm not doing it any justice. You really have to go and breathe the African air and see these magnificent people who celebrate every breath, every moment, every day they wake up is truly, they're like, you did it, you made it. You woke up again. And that's how they start their day.
Oh.
And so, right. And then, of course, then you add the mountain gorillas that only exist there in Rwanda and Uganda and the Congo, and the safaris, and just the glory of what this little country Rwanda is magnificent. And I've taken a part of it and left a part of my heart there, but will always now walk every day with a piece of them with me.
Will you go back?
Yes. Vivi wasn't able to trek with the gorillas. You have to be 16 because they're still wild animals. And if they see a little bodied person, God knows what could possibly happen. Yeah. So we will take her back because it really is a privilege to see what we saw in their natural habitat. And I could go on and on and on.
She was a big hit, wasn't she? With excuse me, the President Kagame.
They loved her, and they do. They look. They lift children up. They really, it was just mentioned today on the podcast about pouring into people, and they pour into young people. And so she had a cow named after her, which is a big deal. She asked them, do you name your pigs? I think maybe she wanted to be named after a pig. And they said, no, only our cows, our sacred cows. She had a safari jeep named after her. And her little spirit, the way it constantly moved through with this great sense of safety and security, and she hugged everybody, and she really flourished, this little person in Africa. I can't get her to go to Target or CVS, but you say, hey, let's go to Rwanda, and she's all for it. So that's the person
I think that speaks very highly of her.
Yeah.
For her.
She's a huge adventurer.
You guys at home, go to Stephanie's Instagram page and follow. If you're one of the 2 people in the world that don't follow her, follow, and you'll see some of the most beautiful pictures of the gorillas and of the gorgeous travels. Just
oh my gosh! And
I'm so glad you and Sebastian got to experience that with Vivi.
Us too. And you know what? I will segue this because it's a very honest segue, that the way they give and honor each other in Rwanda is similar to that of Covenant House. Honest to God, these are angel people at Covenant House. So I didn't know you were going to donate some money, and I am just very, very grateful. We do the sleep out every year, and for those of you that don't know, before COVID, we would literally, we being sort of the Broadway community, those that say yes to the ask, Capathia Jenkins and myself, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago, came up with the idea of just in solidarity to show the young people that are living on the streets and are now being cared for at Covenant House that we see you, and we want to just understand what it feels like for one night to be uncomfortable in that way and to honor them in that way. We sleep out on the streets, and usually it would be on 10th Ave and 41st, but due to COVID, we can't do it in, real life. So we're doing a virtual event, which we did last year. I think they are going to have some people because of Deanna DeMena. Do you know that producer? She's remarkable, generous of spirit, always giving. She's a huge supporter and on the board for our Sleep Out at Covenant House. And she's going to underwrite, I think, some of the expenses. So a handful of them, or maybe even 20 people, can sleep out on the streets in real life this year. But I will be virtual. But if you go to my Twitter, which is Stephanie J. Blog, So creative. There is a Twitter pinned there, a tweet pinned there. And if you can donate to my page, I would greatly appreciate it. Every cent goes to these kids, whether it is a roof over their head, warm food, medical attention, and that is physical and mental. It's just an incredible organization, and I invite you to check them out so that you know all the good that they're doing and putting out into the world. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. Which brings us to your new podcast.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. You guys at home, you can find it right here. There it is.
There it is. Hi, honey. The speaker went off. I don't know what happened. I think it's just been on too long.
The Stages podcast with Mary Lee Fairbanks, who I don't know. First of all, it has such a good theme song.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You both sing.
Yep. We've got a kick-ass logo.
Yes, a really good logo. Here it is.
Look at that. And everybody, that was done by Melanie Von Trapp. That's right. One of the grandchildren of Maria and Captain Von Trapp.
No.
Yeah, that's right. So that in and of itself is a reason just to tune in and see what we're about.
I listened to the first one, the introductory one. It's so great. You guys are so funny. You don't even say podcast correctly. You're so new to this. You said podcast.
Podcast.
That was good. What made you say yes? What made you say yes to this? Because this is not your normal Stephanie kind of project.
No, and I'm terrible at technology, as you can see. But the God's honest truth was I was sad. I was, we had made some big life changes, some bold changes. We had moved from New York to California. We didn't know how long the great Broadway pause was going to be. I was trying to create as much as I could in Northern California, but really my focus was on raising a healthy child, getting her through kindergarten, keeping myself sane and well and physically and mentally healthy. And I found myself in a funk. And I don't usually sit in sadness. I always have ups and downs. I'm like any normal person, but I refuse to sit there. And Mary Lee saw that and she's like, let's create something. Let's just say yes and create something.
That is a good friend.
And it was a podcast. And we kind of learned while we were flying the plane, but it all came together and we have excellent people helping us. And we're getting some really cool, like just this morning, we interviewed James Lapine. And so these wonderful people that have incredible lives and incredible nuggets, because we didn't we didn't want it to be about resumes and careers. We want it to be about how do the arts inform you in every stage of your life? How do you pull from the arts to get you through some of your dark times or your highest joys, births, deaths? And the conversations can go really deep. I mean, I can speak to Keala Settle and LaShawns. The way they're opening up is a really beautiful thing. And I think it's all about missing that connection. This last year has been, isolating, and we miss those audiences. We miss those backstage conversations, and we're trying to bring those to life in this podcast. And it's happening.
Stages is such a great title because it has so many meanings. It's, I think what I heard just sounds like great conversation, inspiring life stories. I just have no doubt that you're going to bring, aural sunshine to so many people. And I think this is going to open up a whole new world for you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm going to call Father Poppy, Bernie Poppy, as soon as we hang up here and see what he thinks, guided me towards share. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
It's true.
We'll definitely be having you on because your life to me is an exceptional example.
Really?
Yeah. You want to know why, Jim? Why I honor and respect you so greatly is because you live and work truthfully. You are much like me in that you're stirring like 14 pots so that, one or two things comes to fruition and you can count on it. This one hair is, honestly. And I just think that's remarkable. And you're very open. I think you show people who you are And that's one thing I always love is like the person that I meet in the first 5 minutes. So who I met in that rehearsal hall or Denki Theater on Lancashire is truly the same person 20 some years later. And I love that. And I want to know how you do that and why you are so comfortable with yourself. I think a lot of people need to figure that out.
That's been interesting in doing this show because of these kind of conversations. Of course, it can be fluffy and light and kooky and wacky. But also, I've had some really fascinating conversations with people about stuff I know nothing about. It's helped me grow as a person and made me smarter. You're already a very thoughtful person, and I don't mean thoughtful and you send thank you notes, which you do, but thoughtful in like.
I love stickers, people. I love.
Oh, please, a sticker and a protractor. The
Oh
woman.
gosh, and my handwriting is very good.
But very thoughtful. But you are always full of thought, is what I'm literally meant. What are the lessons of this past year for you? I mean, where do we start? But
I speak to this in the podcast, but one of my biggest lessons is that I've been very fortunate that my artistry has kind of always dripped down from the top and sort of drizzled over my entire life. I've been very lucky to have opportunities that have afforded me to invest in a script or learn a new song or memorize a monologue, right? So I always thought I was self-disciplined and self-inspired. And when everything stopped, I had to check myself and say, you know what? It takes a lot of work. Now we're working from the ground up. It's all up to you and for you. And I was finding it harder to come from that place of just home and safety and sort of the basic needs and still find the energy and the want to create. And that's why I think when I see performers like Jackson, it reminds me that that's why I started. And I can still do that. I can do that in my living room, or I can grab a couple of friends and we can Zoom and read a play, or we can start a podcast. We have all the tools to create. Now we just need to recognize that it doesn't need to be from the tippy top or the best of the best. Just start. And if you start, it will inspire you in a way. You may not end up where you thought you were going to end up, but it's going to inspire you in a way that will lead you to a happier place. You can just dance in your kitchen if you want. That's what we used to do.
That's exactly right. That's how we all started.
Yes.
We're all theater kids at heart. And I would put on puppet shows alone because I was an only child. And it was so great and so fun. I don't do that at this point, but this is my version of putting on a puppet show.
So are you saying I'm your puppet? Is that what's happening here?
Is that a Madonna song? I think when we look back on this time in 5 years, you're going to be so proud of what you did and how you got through this. And that is something to celebrate. And I celebrate you. And now I want to hear you sing.
Let's see if this works. I switched up what I was going to sing not even at post sound check. I don't know if Ruby told you. Okay. So because we spoke of James Lapine, this is a little more, I was going to sing Believe, which was a ballad that we came up with out of town in Chicago with the Cher Show. I'm now going to sing Holding to the Ground because it feels more right. And I'm already at the point of tears. So let's see if we break down or if the speaker breaks down. Here we go.
Breaking down would be fun.
Are you wanting me to do that now?
What, to cry?
Well, that can happen. But we're holding to the ground. Wish me luck. We didn't do this at rehearsal.
Good luck, Steph.
Ruby, can you hear me? I was sure growing up I would live my life. Mother assumed I'd live. Very Jewish, very middle class, and very straight. Where healthy men stayed healthy men, and marriages were long and great. I smile, I don't complain. I'm trying to keep sane as the rules keep changing. families aren't what they were. Thank God there's a husband and a child whom I adore. But then there's more, so many more. There's always more. Life is never what you planned. Life is moments you can't understand. And that is life. I'm plain. I doubt astound. I hold to the ground as the ground keeps shifting, keeping my balance square. Trying not to care about this man who Marvin loves. But that's my life. He shared my life. Yes, that's my life. Life is never what you planned. Life is moments you can't understand. And that is life. Holding to the ground as the ground keeps shifting. Trying to keep sane as the rules keep changing. Keeping up my head as my heart falls out of sight. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright.
What? Excuse me?
Excuse me. That's not what we did in sound check, but it felt right, right?
It felt perfect. Steph, God, you're in really good voice.
I haven't sung in a while. They're rested.
I'll say, oh my God, that lyric. Oh,
I know. No, the lyric, I just saw Max von Essen. I know there is a kinship. There is an understanding, I think, for everybody who's ever played in, you can't even say played, embodied this story, there's just a unspoken understanding for the responsibility, the weight of the storyline, of the characters, of the humanity that Bill Finn and Bill Finn and James Lapine created. So thank you, Max. I love you.
man. Max actually texted me on the phone while you were singing. He was like, she's talented. Oh.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Victoria Shaw says, I want Stephanie to sing one of my songs. Make her, Jim.
Oh, are we back to the puppet thing again?
Yeah.
Puppet.
Yeah, but she wrote a little song that I like to call The River for Garth Brooks. So, yeah.
Oh, well then we could talk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's also Ruby's mother. So
no way.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Ruby's so freaking cool. Ruby, get back on here. I want to see you again.
Come back, Ruby. Oh, Ruby.
Oh, Jim.
Look at him.
You didn't know we were going to call you back, did you?
No, I was in full-on producing mode. I put my hair up. That's what I'm always doing when I'm working on this show.
But who's cooler than you? And you grew up in a musical family.
Yeah, I did. I grew up living in Nashville, but my mom's from New York, so we would spend every holiday time off here. Now I live in the city full time, and yeah, I grew up in a really, really cool family.
That is a really, that's why he loves you. You're a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll, like the Osmonds, and now it's all making sense to me.
Just a little bit. Jim, can I say, even though I know you hate when I say it, can we say how long I have known you and how long?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I started coming to Cast Party when I was 6. I'm 22 now.
You were a baby in a bar.
That's right.
And so Jim was, I mean, like family pretty much immediately, and we all love Jim. Who doesn't
Oh
love
my
Jim?
gosh, I know. He's very, very lovable.
Oh, and yet I'm single. Hello, is anybody here? Nobody.
Well, a global pandemic really isn't the best for the dating scene.
I'm gonna blame that.
Yeah, blame that.
Maybe that's a very special edition of Pajama Cast Party.
Oh,
The
fine.
dating game for Jim.
Hi,
Lizzie,
Sailor. Yeah.
Well, I
can we make that happen?
I control the buttons, so
I think there's something there.
I don't know if you control the right buttons to make that happen.
you never know. You never know.
Okay,
Jim,
this is taking an ugly turn.
Oh,
yes, but Jim, we did get a question, and then a lot of people tagged on. It's
Oh, I
actually
know. It's all the blockheads, all the
okay.
stuff.
I'm
Well,
gonna use my glasses again.
it's actually from your friend Liz Paley, and then people were agreeing with Liz.
Oh. Please ask Stephanie about the abundance of gravy boats behind her head. Girl got pipes, endgame, and gravy. Okay, Liz, of course you would notice that, you wonderful woman. Yes. So we have a sweet little house that when we were working, we could pay the mortgage here in Cape Cod. And look, I love to keep
Ooh, Stephanie.
my old sort of English china out. We've never hosted that many people. There's only usually 2 different gravies that I would serve for any, substantial meal like Thanksgiving or something. So here we are. Thank
So
you for
beautiful.
asking.
Those colors are so delightful.
Thank you. We're just, I have some other, I enjoy a good decorating moment, as you know, because you are a man who has helped carried a rug from Pottery Barn. Where's Pottery Barn on the Upper West Side? 60.
Well, it used to be. No, it's still there. Yeah.
It is?
It's still there. That's where I got my couch, Jim. It's still
Okay, so Jim and I, in the sprinkling rain, it wasn't pouring, but sprinkling enough, carried an 8x10 wool rug from Pottery Barn to my apartment on 72nd and Columbus at the time.
Yeah.
I lived
That was
above
probably like
China.
2003. You had just moved here.
That's right. That is right.
And I still have chiropractic bills. Thank you.
And Liz again, how have I known Stephanie all these years and know nothing of this China fascinating? I have to keep some secrets. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
I have layers, Liz. I have layers. Mm-hmm.
We're funny.
I think so.
SJB, I want us to have a podcast. Can we have our own podcast?
Let me get this little one off the ground, and then yes. And if you
Then,
ask
okay.
Chenoweth before me, as you did with this pajama cast party situation,
I hate you.
I will burn
right
down
now.
your house.
Well, Kristen and I are like best friends. So, she had to come first.
I know you're not that close because, well, maybe she goes by Chris now, but it used to be Christy. So,
Christy. I like to call her Christy.
Oh, okay. Well, I call her KC. Try to get shorter than that.
Is she watching? She's probably watching.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
I know. Well, we'll send her this. Do you have anything to say to her?
Well, that she's a magical unicorn and I miss her and I need to be on. I haven't watched, so that's not fair. But I do want to put myself out there for Schmigadoon. Is that what it's called? Schmigadoon?
It is hilarious.
Because I did the Brigadoon, right? At
Yes,
Encores.
you did. I
Yes,
saw
I
you
did.
do it.
Did I get that wrong? Is it Encores or just Encore? I always do that with Nordstrom and Nordstrom's as well. Yes.
Joe
Yeah.
Allen's.
Joe Allen's.
No, it's Encores. That's
Okay.
right.
But I yet to watch it. But everybody's like, it's amazing and hilarious.
It is amazing. And it's not just amazing because it's funny and campy and silly and people wear funny hats and makeup. It's so clever. The lyrics are really wonderful.
Okay.
It looks extraordinary. And the cast is nuts. And
No,
Harada is fall on the floor funny.
I am so glad that the world at large is knowing the treasure that is Anne Harada.
I know.
I mean, we've all known on the Broadway scene, but I'm so happy. And I know she did Smash.
Yeah.
Gosh, see, It's going, guys.
Tim, we were just texting about Anne this morning and how wonderful she is in Schmidt.
I was texting her to do this very show. It's on here.
Oh.
So
Well,
she'll
then
be
there you go.
on soon, I hope.
Okay, good.
I love you for doing this.
I love you just because. See how unconditional I am, and yet.
You are cuckoo. I love you. I love Seb. I love Vivi. And thank you for doing this.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me and for finally asking. What is wrong with you? All right, everybody. He's my favorite. Thank you for your support of Covenant House, and thank you for support of Pajama Cast Party. I'll see you guys later.
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you. Well, that was terrible. Terrible conversation. She's very kind of shut off. She's the best talker. Watch her, listen to her podcast. Watch her podcast. I know it's going to be fantastic. We have so many. Oh, Ruby. We have to say, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And don't forget to donate. That's the only way we can keep this thing going. We have to pay for the platform. And we also want to make a nice donation to Covenant House tonight.
Yes.
To celebrate our friend Stephanie J. Block. Covenant House provides shelter, food, and crisis care to homeless and runaway youth. It's an incredible organization that we all kind of know and love. So thank you for that. Thank you for your generosity. Is it Squigs time?
It is Squigs time. Put on your glasses.
Oh, this is always one of my favorite moments of the week.
Put on your matching glasses with me.
Yes. Our friend Squigs, Justin Squigs Robertson, does a quick sketch of everybody on the show. Here it is.
Ready? Bam!
Whoa.
Oh my god. He put the unicorn eye mask in tonight's
Steph
picture.
will love her hair. He gives everybody excellent hair. Except Jackson, who was wearing that, a thing. I don't know what that's called. What's that called?
It's called more style than we'll ever have.
Honestly.
Honestly.
He's 17.
Jackson, I can see you backstage. I think you're cooler than we will ever be. I'm okay with that, actually. His voice was
I'm okay,
stupid
because
cool.
it was never going to happen for me. Cool was never.
You were
ever.
never going to be in The Lion King.
Well, we don't know. I still have time. I think tonight's show is absolutely a blast. That being said, next week's going to be pretty darn good. Broadway leading man Patrick Cassidy, an incredible singer and social environmentalist Rhonda Ross, who also happens to be the daughter of Diana Ross and Berry Gordy. Hello. And the wild and truly hilarious host of the lineup, Susie Mosier. I mean, it's going to be crazy. I love doing this, you guys. It's my favorite. And now, wow, my phone's ringing. Who's calling me right now? That's awkward. I didn't pick it up because you mean more to me than anybody else could. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your time. And thank my beautiful guests, Randy, Jackson, and my SJB. How wonderful. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Thanks for watching Pajama Cast Party. To follow us on YouTube, just hit subscribe. Click on that little bell and we'll keep you updated on future shows. You can also follow us on Instagram at Jim Caruso's Cast Party. The end.